Hello, Shamo. You want to say a quick prayer before we
Wow, you look so fancy. I need to go get water,
go for it?
but I'll go get it later. And yes, we can do quick prayer, but I also am trying to see chasing. Oh my God. So babe, how do you feel about us doing the annual or the bundle, like the early bird annual bundle for like at least um can I share screen really fast? Just I did it on like people will be on the waiting room, right?
Yeah, but it opens in 2 minutes. Just tell me how much. I trust you. I trust you.
I don't know. I don't know. I just put it into AI also because I just had dinner with like Ziggy's friends. So we'll get like a minimum of like at least like $55 per month from the people that are doing the annual.
The annual 55. That's not a lot.
$55 per
That's like
person. What do you think?
50% off. That's 50% because it's $100 a month. If you give them 55, that's 50% off if they get
It's too much, no?
too much. I would say give them 25% off max.
So 25% annual early bird if would be
Yeah.
around, okay, 25% off in each tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for the
So
financial aid because it's already
yeah, of course.
yeah.
Can I send it to your WhatsApp and can you just have a really
Yeah.
quick look? Because my brain is
Yeah.
like not um it stopped functioning.
Okay. Let's say a quick prayer and then we'll open the
Yep.
room. Yeah.
Yep. And then I'll go
Okay.
get some water.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's okay. You're just here. We're just showing up. And we're so grateful. Just offering now and letting go all of our efforts and just welcoming in all of the divine support that we have, knowing that it's not just us trying to bring in these people. So we surrender to the great loving force that is behind everything that permeates through all of the hearts of the women that belong in this space. And we just gently call them into our family. We call them to open up their hearts. We pray that their hearts are open to receive the message, to receive the invitation to come back home to each other. We pray that the words from our mouths be direct transmission for the longing that wants to happen. We pray that we release all of the nerves or the doubts or the questions, that they will be all answered. Everything will come together the way it needs to, when it needs to. And in the meantime, we'll just enjoy, we'll continue to serve with our hearts open and trust that those that are led to our presence will be those that we are meant to speak to in that day, and that this recording will reach many, many women who really, really need this space, who really, really need this sisterhood. May we just come back to that. May we come back to just genuine service, that if it touches one life, it hopefully it'll touch dozens or hundreds, but that's enough for now. That's enough for now. So thank you. Speak through us, open their hearts. Get them to buy our thingies. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna let people in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some
I'll
water.
get some water.
Um, did we talk to them about their like bundle, the annual bundle now?
We talk to the at the end when we do all of the
Mhm.
particulars. Hi, baby.
Hi. Hello.
Is that Sandra?
It's me.
Hey, babe. Hey, boo.
Hi, how are
Hello,
you?
ladies. Just gently welcoming the room as more of the ladies come in. B, I'm so happy to see your face. And Regine, I know you're there. I feel you. Thank you for being here. We got our sister Sandra in the room.
Hello.
Hi, love. Summer is here. Summer, our community manager, who's also one of our sisters. We have Sam. Thank you, Sam, for coming. Nez, is that Naz? Or
Hi, it's Nez.
oh, it's Naz. Okay, so we have another sister called Naz. I was like, is that Naz or Naz? Hi, Naz. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, Veronica. Thank you for being with us.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Just gonna take a few moments. And yeah, do whatever you guys need to do to just make your space or create some sacredness or some intention, whether that's lighting a candle or just gazing at something in your environment that helps you anchor into presence, that helps you arrive into your body. Maybe that's taking a sip of a warm drink and just noticing how it nourishes within. Hello, Marilyn, my love.
Hello.
So nice to see you. Yeah, just taking a moment to just, in your own way, shape or form, just gather some intention and what you would like from this space today. And just a request, we are recording this because this is going to have a lot of information about the upcoming mastermind, and a lot of our ladies can't make it today live, so we're recording it so that they have it to watch later. But just reminding us that this is a safe space and that, yeah, all of our shares are treated as sacred in the container and will be kept amongst ourselves as well. Yeah, so maybe just drop a word in the chat as far as how you're arriving today. What does it feel like to be in your body today? For me, it's feel a lot of electricity, nerves, and excitement. Just letting you drop that word in. Yeah, thank you for being here, even if you're tired. Yeah, okay. So you take some time to just tune into your bodies. I'd like to, A2, you're tired, exhausted. Yeah, I feel you, love. And I'm thank you that you're here as well. And Christina as well. So a lot of our ladies are stretched. Yeah, tired. Curious, tired. Yeah, feel tired but excited. Okay, yeah. So there's some fatigue in this space here today. And so just gently meeting all of that and holding all of that and appreciating your presence here. Maybe taking a few deep breaths in together. Yeah, and just offering my sincere gratitude for all of you for making it here today anyway. And excited to share with you what's coming soon. As you know, over the past 6 years, we've been offering a lot of different sessions, spaces, experiences within the Fuel to Flourish family. And especially within the past couple of years, we've been deepening the relationship within the women's community. And one of the things that Christina and I are very, very excited to open into the fold is this women's mastermind that we've kind of been talking about over the past few years. So now it's coming into form this November, at the end of the month in November. And just to come from a personal storytelling note, this space was really, we didn't decide, hey, let's do a mastermind. We didn't decide, let's, create a business or an organization. These spaces really came from a deep, deep need that we had as human beings, that the weight of holding and carrying everything within us was too much to keep to ourselves, that we needed a space where it was safe enough to express and share without feeling judgment. It started off with me, Christina, I believe you know Mina, some of you know David, and Evan, and we just started gathering. And we just started coming together every single week and opening space and learning from each other from there. My personal background, I was a performing artist. I was a triathlete. My whole life was about gaining a sense of performance, validation, worthiness, a sense of and a title or the version of myself that I was showing everyone that I thought was going to be how I measured my sense of self-worth. So there was no freaking way I was going to tell you about my shadows. I wasn't going to own up to my vulnerabilities or my ego, my selfishness, my desires, my addictions. That wasn't acceptable. Who would accept that? Who would love that? And so it became I became very good at hiding all of that. And inevitably, it led to my self-destruction and my burnout, and several trips to the hospital later from adrenal fatigue and gut dysbiosis, and I needed help. And that's when we really started gathering. And I remember the fear of expressing myself and being really honest about what the voices in my head were saying. And when I did, I love saying the saying over and over again, like, shame dies when stories are told in safe spaces. And all I was met with was, hey, me too. Or, yeah, like, I feel that as well. Or, I totally understand and I welcome that. All I kept being met with was grace. And that was for me, like, the experience that I had in community, being openly held, and where all shades of my humanness, even the dirty, dark shades, there was no way I wanted anyone to know about, had a place to belong, had a place to really be felt. And when that openness and non-judgment, when we get to be met with that, then we start releasing ourselves from the old stories and coping mechanisms and limiting beliefs and identities and crutches and judgments that we often carry. And for me, it was having that space of wholeness, having that space of belonging was what I needed to own up and take responsibility for the limiting patterns that I put myself through, for the addictions that I put myself through, for the stories that I projected onto people and relationships that caused disconnection between me and others, and taking that responsibility on, having a group of people that was in the trenches with you, that was doing the work with you, that held you accountable to showing up honestly, radically honest, and saying, okay, there's no judgment, and I honor you enough to hold you accountable and being responsible for how you want to show up. And so these spaces really became a place of deep, deep intention and learning, and bringing in various different insights from the fields of science and soul and spiritual wisdom. And bringing in trauma-informed somatics into it. And little by little, like, our group kind of just started adopting different modalities. All of us became certified. We started teaching each other, growing with one another. And then the work of transformation wasn't so daunting. It wasn't like us, it wasn't suffering. It was something that brought joy and brought deep connection and fellowship. And this is really the great call and invitation for us as we enter an age of the collective conscious or the collective unconscious moving towards this new age of consciousness, is how we start to face the truth about ourselves, the stories we've held on to, the conditioning that we've been inheriting from our culture, from our ancestors, from our societies, and taking responsibility for that and rewiring the deeply, deeply embedded grooves of our conditioning. That doesn't happen overnight. Oh, and the work is hard. The work is sometimes deeply discouraging and sometimes too overwhelming to even start. And that's okay. And that's why having a strong support system, having a deeply intentional group of people around you that are in the work together, that are with you side by side, that will continually hold you accountable and meet you towards taking those small little steps, even when they don't feel like any movement or progress has happened, is what makes this work not only possible, but what makes this work deeply, deeply meaningful and impactful. And when we embody wholeness as a collective, everything changes. Our relationships, our work, our nervous system, our well-being, how we show up in our habits, how we show up in our community, the work and creativity that we want to put out into the world, everything ripples and changes. But it takes a lot of intention. It takes a lot of support. It takes a lot of learning and unlearning. And this is the kind of work that luckily in this mastermind, and I can't wait for you to meet some amazing facilitators and women that have walked this path and that continue. We're not perfect. We continue to walk this path. We continue to struggle. We continue to wake up sometimes thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Am I getting anywhere? And that's okay. But we really created this mastermind so that we could offer the tools, the support system, the space that we wish we had when we were first starting out. And so coming from a very, very imperfect, messy individual as myself, I welcome you guys into the fold, and I hope that you gain that support, that space, that intention. It doesn't have to be with us. I hope that you get it anyway, but I do want to make this invitation as a home space that you can count on. So yeah, today I'm going to introduce, of course, many of you already know Christina. She's going to tell a little bit about her story. We're going to go through some embodied practice. We'll go through some breakouts, some sharing, and then we're going to go through the syllabus of what the mastermind will look like, the particulars, the investment, the facilitators, what's included, and then open up to some questions that any of you guys might have about what this might look and feel like if you were to really take the invitation and embark upon this journey. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. For any of you also watching the recording, this is the greatest work that we can do in our lives, is really come back to our wholeness, is wake up in remembrance to who we really are, so that we can heal what needs to be healed, so that we can step into what needs to be stepped into, so that we can be the people we were meant to be for ourselves, for our relationships, for our families, for our communities, and for this world that we're so greatly a part of. So I'm welcoming my dearest, dearest friend, Christina Sang, who is a woman who's been with me through every step of this journey, and who has seen me and continues to see me through all of my shame and all of my shadows and all of my egos and all of the parts of myself that I want to step into. She's seen it all, and her story is quite miraculous as well. So thank you so much, Christina, for coming and sharing a part of yourself with us today.
Thank you so much, Elle, for just sharing and bearing your soul as you have the miraculous gift of doing. The way that you express is so beautiful and magical. On Fuel to Flourish, I really want to just anchor in on why I guess we started Fuel to Flourish, right? It's giving you the fuel, giving you the jet engine so that you can fly, you can soar, you can blast off into the planes of consciousness and just explore what what's there. For me, I think my story is really similar to a lot of women's stories. I was always a guy's girl growing up. I feel like I was pitted against women a lot. So the way that I grew up was not really within a lot of safety and safe spaces with women. I think I just spread myself across everyone, hoping to earn recognition, hoping to earn some sort of validation that I was a good person, I was a good human, that I was worth spending time with. And as I grew up, I think I didn't find these spaces to be, I found these spaces to be less and less. So there were less and less spaces that I could feel like I could really belong to, and especially spaces where women were involved. I think growing up in a third culture setting for me, at least since I'm Korean American, but I grew up in the Philippines and then later everywhere, like all over the world. I think the competition or the competitive edge ran really deeply. So I always felt like I was in competition with a lot of women or with people in general. So there was always a comparison culture that I had to live by, like, oh, so and so is doing this, so I must do this. Or even in later years where it wasn't your parents talking anymore, it was social media that would be like, oh, so and so is achieving this, so and so is earning this. And constantly comparing yourself to another being is exhausting. It's exhausting. It gets so stifling and it chips away at so many different pieces and parts of you that you don't feel like you anymore. You start to forget who you are and what your real essence and what your real purpose and your real value is in this world. And remembering that you have value just by breathing, just by existing, just by being here. You're already doing something remarkable by being here. And I think I forgot that a lot. I forgot that just all of I mean, if we really think about it, the millions of ways and possibilities and things that had to happen for you to be here right now at this exact moment is a miracle in itself, right? You're looking at ancestral lineages. If you're looking at tracing back to your grandparents, your great grandparents, your great great grandparents, they all had to meet in the sequence of order that they had to meet in for you to be here. And your parents had to meet. They had to, like, some happenstance had to happen for you to be created, to be here. And out of the millions and millions of sperm, that one created you. And then in that instance, there's so many things that could have happened. I mean, us as women and me just going through an experience of my own, like with miscarriage, knowing how precious and how precarious life is, that you are able to hold that life and give birth to it, and for it to come into existence, to create this magic of you, this being that exists here right now. That is a freaking miracle. And we forget that. We forget that a lot. We forget that because of all of the outside noise, because all of the other things that kind of get in the way to distract us from the real truth of this incredible miracle, this life that we have been given. And so for me, that is, like, I think one of the starting points of which Elle and I kind of started to create and to find ourselves, our way back home to ourselves together, right? As Ramdas says, walking each other home. We're constantly walking each other home. And it's so funny because there's so many instances in doing that, but I started really wanting and hoping for the type of sisterhood and friendships that that really felt like that nurture, that walking each other home. So I would be like, even when I was younger, actually, I would be the one that would check like in on my friends to be like, hey, did you get home safely? Are you okay? Like, are you like, is everything okay with you? And I realized as I went through time that not everyone thought like me, that not everyone was similar to me in the way that they thought. And then as I went through my whole healing journey and many dark nights of the soul and conquering and going through everything from existentialism to dredging up all of the different parts that are like that live inside of me. It can really, your circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and sometimes it can get really lonely, and it can also feel, yeah, I think just really lonely because there's not a lot of resonance in the people that start to understand all of the different parts of you. And so that's why this was created, this was born. And my story in this is that we created a space, I guess, for our younger selves, for a space that we hoped or wished existed when we were going through this journey alone in the dark, kind of feeling our way through everything. So yeah, that's a little bit about, I guess, where this came from, what led me to this, and what we're hoping is that you just get a little glimmer of that continuously, because as Ella and I believe, well-being really should be a birthright. It's currently a luxury, or it's currently not as accessible to everyone else in the way that it should be. So we're hoping to create the space to be able to do that for everybody. And yeah, and what we're really looking at is just rediscovering ourselves, coming back home to ourselves, as we really tend to forget a lot of it along the way. There's too much life that happens. And the best way to do that is with people, people that you resonate with, people that are on the same frequency as you. And it might just be one person at first. And then maybe you'll find that there's two, and then there's three, and then there's 15, like 15 of us in this room right now. And then maybe it magnifies and amplifies. And maybe you find that you are a catalyst for creating more communities and more people and creating a ripple effect out across the world. So that is really my wish, our wish, Elle and I, and how we started this, and what we're hoping to bring home to, or bring you back into. So with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me a little bit of space to share a little bit about what's really alive and what's really real for me. And I'd like to invite everyone to just begin by arriving together. I know that you are here. I know that you've arrived, but I'd really like for you to just settle back into your seats. Maybe take a deep breath in and just let the past shares wash over you. Let's take a little deep breath through the nose. And just exhale. Exhale that air softly through the mouth, as though you're blowing out through a little straw. Today we gather not to become something new, but to remember what's always been true. We speak of wholeness, not as perfection, but as the sacred union of all of our parts. The light and the dark, the known and the forgotten. And in a practice that Ella and I study, classical tantric yogic philosophy, they say that each of us is born as pure consciousness, Sat Chit Ananda, truth, awareness, and bliss. But over time, we begin to wear veils, and how I like to think of it is that they're like veils of untruth that start shrouding over our eyes, layers and layers. layers of Maya, veils of untruth, stories and conditions that make us forget. And maybe as time passes, these layers grow, that it becomes so much harder to see the truth in front of you. And today, I'd like to really just invite us all to meet those veils with a little bit more compassion, and gently and lovingly begin to meet them, maybe lift some of them off, and to remember that underneath them all, you are already whole. Take another deep breath in. Just exhale it out. And if your eyes aren't already closed, and if it feels safe to close your eyes down, I'd like you to feel into your feet. Feel into your sit bones, grounding into the earth beneath you. Feel it steady, unwavering. Imagine you've been walking through life wearing many veils, veils that I just shared with you. Each one woven from an old story, or an expectation, or a belief that tried to keep you safe. Perhaps you have a veil like me that says, I'm not enough. Perhaps there's another one that whispers, I must be good to be loved. Or maybe there's another one that says, if they truly saw the real me, they would turn away. I invite you to feel the texture of these veils. Whatever stories, whatever veils are here for you today, whatever's coming up, just notice its texture. Notice their weight. And start to feel into your body. Where do they live inside your body? Is there a starting point where a lot of these veils sit? And if that gets too overwhelming, just focus on one. What is one veil that is speaking the loudest to you? And where is that coming from in your body? Is it coming from your chest, your shoulders, your jaw, your neck, your solar plexus, your gut, wherever it's coming from? Just tune in, attune to the sensations that are there. And you don't need to remove them, but I just want you to notice them with curiosity and not judgment. Let's take a breath into that space. And with your exhale, feel a soft loosening, as if maybe one veil begins to flutter a little bit. And as we take another breath, maybe it flutters just a little bit more. And one by one, with each breath, maybe some of these veils start to flutter and lift. Maybe long enough so that you can see what's here. Perhaps the air around this becomes a little bit lighter. Perhaps it becomes a little bit clearer. And if it still feels hard to see, that's okay. Just meet this moment with compassion. And let's just notice that whatever's here is me. This too is me. And I am still whole. invite you to take another deep breath. And notice what happens in your body as I say, I am still whole. And maybe you would like to say this to yourself. I am still whole. And just notice what lies beneath the veils. Maybe attune to a quiet pulse that lies beneath all of this. Maybe this pulse comes from your heart space. Maybe it comes from a different part of your body. Just bring your awareness there. There is a silent remembering in this place. Maybe a glow. Maybe a spark. Wherever it's coming from, imagine that there's a small spark of light that's coming from this space in your body. It's ancient. It's radiant. It's untouchable. It's an old remembering. This comes from deep within the fabric of your cells. And imagine this little spark spreading like little light trickles that begin to spread throughout your entire body, down your spine, through your arms, maybe into your fingertips, down your legs, all the way down to your toes, maybe up your spine, around your neck, your head. As you kind of attune to the different sensations that are alive in your body right now, just notice your cells remembering. I belong. I belong, I belong, I belong. I am part of the whole. Feel that light extend beyond you. Connecting to the light of every woman, every being in this space with you. Each one a thread in the vast living tapestry. Shimmering, breathing, weaving together. And you realize that you were never separate from this fabric. Even in your loneliness, your striving, your silence, you are still part of the whole. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Let something go. I am whole. I am connected. I am home. Notice what home feels like in your body right now. And does home feel like an anchored space? Or perhaps home feels a little fluid. Whatever home feels like right now, I invite you to just allow the texture of home to move through your body. Allow it to create movement. Maybe begin to let the body move gently, intuitively. Perhaps you'll notice that your body feels like it wants to sway from side to side. Maybe there's other movements that want to be expressed. Allow your breath to lead you. And wherever you are, whatever you are doing is perfect. There is no right or wrong way to do this. There is no right or wrong way to feel at home. Maybe it wants to be expressed with a soft sway, maybe a roll of the shoulders, or maybe it's a soft stretch of the spine. What does wholeness feel like when it moves through you? When you experience it moving through you? And if that looks like stillness today, then that's perfectly fine. Wherever you are is perfect. But notice what's here. What is this texture? What's this feeling? What is this aliveness? Does it expand? Does it contract? Does it pulse? Does it flow? Or is it more subtle? Allow your body to express wholeness, maybe not as choreography, but just as a remembrance. And just know that there's really no right or wrong here. And in this moment, if it feels supportive to lean back, or to get up from your chair and move around, or to lie back into your bed, wherever you are, just allow this moment to be truthful. Just allow this moment to be real for you. Allow the body's wisdom to start reclaiming itself through you. Just whatever's here, allow yourself to meet it. Just for another moment. And if you're not already here, perhaps slowly start to bring your body into a place of stillness. Take a deep breath. Fill your lungs up with this beautiful, precious air and exhale. Let it go. Feel your wholeness. Allow yourself to take up space in this moment. The part of you that's always been here, even before the veils, even before all the striving, even before all the stories. Wholeness is not about never breaking or being perfect. It's knowing that even when you do, nothing essential is ever lost. Wholeness is your birthright. This remembering that every fragment of us is still a part of the whole. Take another deep breath. Perhaps place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly or womb space, or whatever areas of your body you feel most compelled to hold right now. And just feel the pulse of life beneath your palms. There is a subtle awareness of life. There is a subtle but ancient, deep wisdom that lives here underneath the fabric of your skin, underneath all the capillaries, the cells, the sinews, the blood, there is ancient wisdom. There is wholeness. Breathe into that. Breathe into the palms of your hand. Exhale. Notice what it's like to feel, to drink in yourself. Take another deep breath in and feel the aliveness through the palms of your hands as you breathe this air in. Exhale. Let it go.
Either read your book. You want to go to sleep now? Been waiting like.
And now, as you slowly come back into this space, bring awareness to the different layers that are in your body. As you start to bring awareness to your eyes last, these globes of your eyes that allow you so much throughout the day. Maybe rotating them around if your eyes are still closed. Just allow yourself to feel into them for a moment before gently, with soft eyes at first, coming back into the space. As you do so, the invitation is to do it slowly, slowly, like honey. The texture of honey is slow, it trickles, it's not fast. So as slow as you can, start to open your eyes and let this screen be the very last thing your eyes fall on. Maybe looking around or taking in your surroundings. Noticing where you are, what's here. Before you finally make your way back to the screen in front of you. And as you land here in this screen, take in each beautiful being. Notice what reflection of wholeness you see in the other. Notice what parts of yourself you see in the beings in front of you. Now, as we kind of come back into connection with each other, I'd like to invite you to just ponder these two questions that I've dropped into the chat. And whichever question calls out to you, and if you feel compelled to share, feel free to just unmute yourself and share whatever's alive for you, share whatever thoughts resonate from reading any of the questions.
I don't mind sharing first. Yeah, the veil that has, it's funny because, we live with these veils for so long, it ends up, you don't think it's a veil anymore. It's just how you see reality or how you see yourself. And the veil that I've always seen the world through, that is still to this day, even though I'm aware it's a veil, it's so sticky and it's so elusive to the point that I wake up with it in the morning. I feel the palpitations in my chest and my mind racing around what we need to do, how we need to strive, all the areas we might be forgetting or falling short, all of the gaps between where we are and where we should be. And it's the veil of not enoughness, the veil that as I am in this moment, there's something missing, that I need to be striving towards the next thing, that I have to do better, be seen as better. And it's elusive. It disguises itself as ambition. But no matter how much I accomplish, no matter what I get done and what I do well, the veil continues to see, okay, what's the next thing? Or how do we move on to the next? Or if I see someone doing something, okay, why am I not doing that? And it's always this sense that it's never enough. And I know that veil has been something that has kept me safe when I was a kid. A veil that keeps me on my toes. We call it ambition, or we call it like my drive, but it's really the part of me that says, boy, we need to seem significant. We need to gain a sense of approval or worthiness. And so let's turn these engines on to make sure you're always on your toes. You're always moving to the next prize, so that we feel seen, so that we feel safe, so that we feel worthy. And I realize now, if my wholeness could speak, that it's not that I want to remove the veil like it's bad, but all of our veils seem to be these ways in which we've made ourselves or the world small so that we can understand it or feel safe. And it's like my wholeness, if it could speak, it wouldn't even speak. It would just wrap its arms around all the fucking veils, and it would just hold it, and it would say, I see you. It would say, you can belong here too. It would say, I get it. I hear you. I understand. It wouldn't even try and make the veil wrong. It would just like hold it. And then the veil kind of like dissolves into wholeness until it's all the same matter. And all that's left is truth. That, yeah, even the veil, the contraction, the shadow, the limitation, the doubt is often also the source of why we show up to these things, and why we search for the medicine, why we search for connection, why we show up in these spaces and get to meet each other in this way. So yeah, thanks for that practice, Christina. What about you guys? I'd love to hear from anyone else's experience.
Hello. Hi there. Hi, everyone. Such a nice evening to see every one of you. Thank you, Elle and Christina. And Christina, thank you so much for guiding us through. Your voice is so calming. It's super nice. For me, the story that really kept me from remembering my wholeness is like my self-doubt. A lot of doubt and a lot of like really those things, maybe my character or everything that like really stopped me from doing something. It's just like it really stops for me to be able to be the person that I want to be, my essence and everything. I am the first person who's like really, I would say like I am my worst enemy, you know. And so because of that, actually recognizing that made me just like really remember, and if my wholeness would speak to me, just how to like always remember what I've already achieved before, and also build self-belief, and then also be more connected with people who actually believe in me and I can connect with. Remembering my friends to actually like really also reach out to them, and then when they reach out to me, they also always like remind me of the person that I am and the person that I actually want to be. And that's just so amazing. It's so good to like really hear that from them and how they are actually like really receiving me, which is also like teaching me on how to actually like also give what I want to receive. And it's just like a reflection every time. And just being here with you guys, it's like really something very inspiring. And I'm super happy to be here. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, Sandra, you can go ahead.
Yay! Thank you for this space, Elle and Christina. This is It's been a really beautiful journey this year to have been in your presence and just learn from both of you, and the veil that I am learning to let go fully while my son is here next to me is to, okay, you can say hi. The veil of having everything together, and also the veil of fear, leading with fear instead of love. And so my whole life was growing up leading. Are you okay? Why are you coughing? Just breathe, baby, breathe. um, growing up in different cultures with different family backgrounds, I had my mom that had lots of fear that had passed on to me. So I grew up prepared, and I grew up in a little bit of a little bit, not a little bit, in a big abusive household, basically. And so I was always on the lookout for something to happen, and so I was always scared of what's happening around it. You can see, baby, here. Scared of what's unfolding in the next 10 minutes, or what's gonna happen in the next year. You can see, Papa. And after having my son, after having a really hard delivery and recovering from an emergency C-section, um, my whole life got flipped upside down after learning that I had to be present and take sovereignty about my decisions that I'm about to make with my own family. And so, with that, had the fear of being good and the fear of being a good mother. And I had the pleasure of, you know, I haven't had the pleasure of having a close relationship to my own mother. Um, when I was younger, but healing that and making effort to get to know how that would feel like by actually being a mother gave me a lot of grace in mending my own mother wound. And that also led me to have fears about women in general in my life, and being okay to approach women as they won't be um, here to hurt me, but instead to support me and guide me. And so those are the two veils that I'm learning to let go. And um, in very short, it's been a very crazy, beautiful, messy ride. But it's been one of the best rides I've ever experienced, because after fear, there's a lot of growth, I guess, and a lot of discovery. And once you go after fear, you're like, oh, it wasn't that crazy after all. And you get to be more aware and prepared and flow, I guess, and be more in the feminine energy instead of my more protective masculine energy. So that would be one.
Thank you, Sandra, for sharing. It's always so beautiful to hear your voice and Zaya's in the background as well. And just to witness you stepping into so much grace with so much compassion has been wonderful to witness. So thank you for your beautiful share. I will share. So this is, I don't know, I feel like this is my constant veil that I need to just, this is like constant, no matter what type of healing modality I do or practice or step into, this veil constantly comes back. It's like this is like a constant one. And mine is this, and the story is the veil of untruth that tells me that I am only worthy if I produce, if I do things. That's my worth, and my value in this world only comes from my ability to do something for others, mostly for others. It's a veil that is constant. And yeah, sometimes it's thicker, sometimes it's thinner, sometimes it goes away for a little moment. And no matter what healing modality, whether it's ecstatic dancing under the full moon naked, or going through a big healing journey through plant medicine, or sound baths, or excavating parts with IFS, or whatever it is, it's like the Velcro on this veil is really strong. Boom, boom. So that's my veil, the story that keeps bringing me out of the remembrance of my wholeness.
If you're ready, if you're done, Christina, I would love to share as well. Thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing. My name is Marilyn. I guess my veil kind of coincides with everybody else's. It's feeling like I can take up space, or worthy of taking up space, I think, is my veil. Even in this session, I waited for everybody to share before I took my turn. I think that comes from coming up in a household that I wasn't allowed the space or I was told not to take up space. So I find it difficult now, and I'm realizing that that's what I would like to work on, because when I have the space, I can shine. When I feel included, I can do what I would like to do, but I find it difficult stepping into new spaces and taking up the space, even though I do belong there innately. I find myself feeling it out before I feel worthy of taking up the space. And spaces like this allow me to speak out, to practice this voice that I have. And I appreciate you guys for setting up the space, Al and Christina, as you always do. And also, I just came back from a trip with you guys. I'm visiting you in the Philippines and I've been reflecting a whole bunch on taking up space and belonging with you guys. So I really do appreciate that you're allowing me as someone in this workshop and someone in your lives to take up space and to hear me to kind of heal this wound. But it always comes back. I always find myself in new spaces thinking about if I should take up room or how I should do it instead of just being naturally who I am. So thank you.
Sorry, may I share it as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'd like to share about my veil. Well, it's funny because just a couple of days ago, I remembered one of my favorite songs as a prepubescent. It just randomly came to mind. The song Innocent by Our Lady Peace. I loved it back then because of the second verse, which the lyrics clearly talks about body image and struggle. But listening to it today, towards the end, the song phrase goes something like, one day you have to let it go to stand up on your own. Remember all the feelings on the day they stopped. So now I see the song as like a story of healing, like letting go and having to find a way to really feel alive. So that gives me a lot of hope. And like I know it's a process and everybody's got their own journey, but I like that it gives me hope. Also, I really thought about where I feel it. And really, it's just when I feel safe, wherever that is, especially, well, for me, especially in, these types of groups. So, yeah, I want to say thank you to you guys for your time and making me feel at home, if that makes sense. That's it.
This is your home, Sam. We love you.
Oh, I love you too. I love you.
Okay, maybe I'll share. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Um, Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so welcoming. Thank you for having this space, for welcoming us in this space.
Summer, I'm sorry. You're very quiet. Is there a way for you to come closer to the microphone or increase at the bottom left hand of your Zoom control where audio is? There's a little arrow and you can go to audio settings and you might be able to increase the volume of your microphone.
Here. Does it? Here.
I'm sorry.
Input. Here. Does it work?
Medyo mahina, but we can hear you if you project.
Oh, wait. It's weird. Okay, maybe I'll just
There you go.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, hello again. So my veil is fear of losing time, or running out of it. So I end up always getting myself so stressed about everything that I have to do, or my life achievements, life plans. Yeah, I feel like I'm always just chasing time. I feel like, yeah, I guess it comes from fear also of um not achieving the things that I wanted for myself, or losing the people that I love, or not spending enough time with the people that I love. I think it comes from a lot of like childhood stuff, and I know where actually like where it comes from. It's a family thing for sure. But that's something that I'm working through. I'm trying to be more present with myself also, because I think when I'm stressing myself with running out of time, I end up not being present, or not being grounded in what I'm doing in the moment, and I'm just like rushing through things. So yeah, that is my veil.
Thank you, Summer. I think many of us can relate to a feeling of not having enough time and chasing after our tails. So thank you for naming it so we can collectively heal it. Just cognizant of time, ladies, before we move on to describing what the mastermind will look like, does anyone else want to share?
Can I just share?
I would love that.
I've been stopping myself.
Yes.
Um, so this is actually my first time joining the mastermind, and I'm very grateful to find this community, and thank you for also creating this space. I've been holding my tears even from the beginning. I just feel like I have so much going on, and so and I feel like first when I entered earlier, I already felt that I belong into this space. I'm sorry. Okay. I think the veil that been holding me a lot. There's a lot, and it's so heavy. It feels so heavy. That's why when we were doing the meditation, I was really breathing sa shoulders ko. It's been like this for years, and 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 I feel like I found out also that when you feel a lot of pain in your shoulders, it means that you have this feeling of carrying everything. And I feel for the longest time that's been my pain, and I know that
telling me to. It's been asking me to notice it, because I think the will that's been there is really the will of having taking a lot of responsibilities. I'm a single mom, um, and for so long also I've been the breadwinner also of the family. And I also know at the same time that I have I have a purpose in life, and I've been trying to chase that. And uh and I grew up really trying to prove my worth, and really trying to, you know, I always have to prove myself in every table or every room that I go in, to be able to be seen or understood, because I'm not sure if it's partly my childhood, but it's been like that for I don't know, cannot count anymore, but it just feels so heavy. And when we were doing the meditation, I just wanted, I felt it, like it's like calling me to kind of like release it. But right now where I am, it's a little bit, I think I'm in a space where I wanted to release it, but I don't know how. But I just know it's there. And I think my wholeness is kind of like telling me that it's okay to let go of the things, especially if those are the things that you cannot control. Because I think like I've been holding into that for so long. And if you're a mom and you're a single mom, it's kind of like difficult because you have to always prove yourself. And I'm also currently entering into a new space where I felt like I have to still keep proving myself. I've been in the corporate, and now I'm trying to also enter this new space because I know that this is something that's really calling me. But I'm still in that sense of, I still have to prove myself. I have to be seen and to be understood. And it's tiring. It's tiring, and I think it's also manifesting in my body already. It's really tiring, and I just wanted to let go of that and just be myself, because I know that I have so much to offer. And I think that's the wholeness in me is telling me that I have that in me, even if I don't have to always tell people or prove to people that I'm worth it, that I'm worth it as I am, you know. And I think it's also telling me that I myself is already, kumbaga, I'm abundant already, I have so much in me that I could also offer, but I could not, or I will, it's going to be difficult for me to offer that if I don't know how to give that to myself, I think that, and I've been trying to hold myself speaking also earlier, because it's my first, it's my first mastermind. And I don't know, I think that one, wow, it's so good to cry. Feels good to cry. I think that, I'm sorry I cried, my God. Yeah, I think that's my story.
Veronica, you mind if we just take a breath together? You mentioned there's so much on your shoulders right now, and you're just carrying a lot, and you're finally being able to voice it out and let it out instead of carrying it with you. Do you mind if we just take a few breaths together? Yeah, and just notice that part in your shoulders. And maybe we could all also just notice where we carry that weight. And just take a few breaths here. Not trying to change it, just honoring all this weight, the sensations, and just letting it speak to us. Just wrapping it with our unconditional presence. As you spend a moment to just feel this part of you, just maybe ask it, what wisdom do you have for me today? What wisdom does this weight on your shoulders have for you today? Just take a breath to just receive that. Veronica, if you feel comfortable to unmute yourself, just in just one or a few words, share what wisdom does this weight on your shoulders have for you today?
I think it's the wisdom of letting go of things. I think that has been the practice that I'm also resisting to receive. Just letting go of the things that I can't control, and just allowing that sense of peace to be at peace with the things that I can control. I think that's the wisdom that I'm receiving right now. Oh, I feel calm. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel your calm. I feel your wisdom. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to share anything to the space?
I can share.
I knew it.
I'll let everybody go first. That's like I think also well I resonate with everyone here. But for me my veil is also like fear of expressing myself. Um there's a part of me I always silence. I'm afraid to express because I think I'm being too loud or being too emotional or just too much in general. So there's a lot of things that I'd like to share, but sometimes I'm always dimming my light. Um, always second guessing my decisions and like asking it's like asking external validation. So there's a part of me I always hold some of my ideas, or sometimes I can't express myself freely in terms of my art, in terms of my voice, in terms of the things that I know that I really like to share. That's my veil, and I know I'm learning to stop hiding. I am never meant to be small, and stop comparing myself to um of course other people, and to always I'm reminding myself that I am worthy being heard, being seen, and being felt. And I'm constantly reminding myself to trust my instinct as well. um yeah I'd like to have more confidence in me to express myself and stop apologizing for who I am, but accepting the that it's me who loves expressing. That's me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Regine. It's funny that you say that because I love when you share. You always have something important to say and someone needs to hear it. So thank you, even if it's challenging, for speaking. Yeah. So my loves, thank you so much for just opening up your hearts in that way. Yeah, I feel so full. Thank you, Christina, for leading us through such a beautiful inquiry within, and allowing us to come into this space. This is, many of you have probably already attended some of the sessions that we've had. This is just a taste of what an experience could look like, and we want to take it deeper still. Because one of the things that Christina and I really believe in is integration. And there's one thing to attend a workshop, and great, we have these big, beautiful moments, but then what happens afterwards? How do we carry this through? How does this stay alive outside of the session and move with us into the day-to-days? How do we remember to speak up, Regine? How do we remember to surrender control, Veronica? How do we remember to take up space, Marilyn? How, like, and in the moments when it's challenged, in the moments out on Monday afternoon when we don't feel resourced. And so this is something that we really want to have in our community, that integration piece. So I'm just going to add a link to the chat just in case you have to leave and are not able to get into it. But please add yourselves to this WhatsApp group. This is where all of the details around the mastermind will continue to be drip fed, including the presentation that I'm going to show you. And you know, everyone that's shared here, you get the pulse. You understand what it's like to be a woman in this body, in this day and age, and to feel the very real pressures of having to strive and having to perform and having to prove ourselves, or having to measure up in whatever shape or form, and how exhausting that can be. This, whatever veils or stories that we might be living with, you know what it's like to constantly be pressing up against that and getting triggered, whether the people pleasing arises, whether it's burnout, whether it's, you know, not honoring our boundaries or our rest, or overextending ourselves and giving so much that we forget to give to ourselves. You know what it's like to feel overwhelmed and to doubt our innate capacity. You know what it's like to really long for emotional freedom, to long to play big and put ourselves out there, to long to be able to sit with the anxiety, or to sit with the overwhelm and the depression, and to not be overcome by it, to be the gracious presence and awareness that gets to hold it and move through it, to build that sense of tenacity. You know what it's like to want to feel unshakable amidst setbacks and the opinions of others. You know what it's like to want to step into a room with your radiant confidence and to speak from that place, and to create from that place, and to love from that place. You know what it's like to crave a space like this, where we can just drop all of the masks, release the perfectionism, claim the truth, release the veils, and finally really be fully seen and heard and celebrated. You know what it's like to know that you were meant to lead, to know that healing leadership goes much deeper. And I can sense that all of the women in this room and in our community have that intention. And this mastermind is really for women who are ready to really go deeper within and take the healing, the growth, the transformation, the leadership to the next level, because it requires a lot of deep, meaningful work. It requires a lot of integrating shadows and releasing old patterns, and dealing with our nervous system's old reactive ways of responding to things. It requires us reconciling certain old wounds or traumas that are still deeply embedded in our emotional energy body. And you know of all people that actually, even though it seems like a mountain of work, as a community, as a sisterhood, when women come to heal, to grow, to rise together, they don't only just transform within themselves, they ripple out into their families, their communities, into the, I'm sorry, I'm going to be like super corny, into the freaking world. I genuinely believe that. And so I'd love to just share a few simple slides around what it is that we're offering in these workshops, so that you get a chance to really sink your teeth. I'll also send you the pitch deck. But can everyone see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up that you can see it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the first few slides are really just speaking to the type of women that we're working with, people who are really seeking deep intentional growth, who know that it happens in a space of sisterhood and community, and that when we get that, it is the catalyst for transformational change in every aspect of life. And so we're really working through every aspect of the self in a very holistic way. We want to be integrating wholeness, where when we heal old patterns, old veils, we know how deeply ingrained this is in our nervous system, the conditioning, the ancestral patterns that we not only carry, but that our parents, the generation before them, that it's something that lives in the collective energy that we're breathing, and that is a part of our cellular makeup that requires deep work. So we're here to really change from a cellular level, not because you need to be someone better, but because actually your true essence is already deep within, and we're simply allowing healing, wholeness, emotional resilience to help. It's like that when they said, asked Michelangelo about the statue of David, they said, how did you create the statue of David? He said, the statue of David was always there. I simply started chipping the pieces away around the marble to reveal what was already there. We're not here to change you. We're not here to make you someone better. Like, the true, authentic, empowered self is already you. And so we're really here about creating the necessary environment, the soil, the water, the sunlight, the sisterhood that will allow that essence to come through, because you have a unique zone of genius, an authentic pulse, a creative expression that the world needs. And so we're going to be really creating the environment, the skills, the tools, the practices, the circles, the embodiment to be able to usher that space for you. So we really are, because we're powered by the Wellness Collective, and the Wellness Collective is really a family, a collective of very diverse practitioners from a 360-degree scope of well-being. So we integrate everything from science and soul to neuroscience. We bring in practices such as quantum physics, somatics, breathwork, yoga, non-dual, Shaiva Tantra, classical tantric philosophy, spiritual alignment, energy work. We're weaving everything in, because we understand that change really, like, you cannot separate the mind from the body, the biology from the physiology, the emotion from the body, the spirit from the energy, from the, it's all like woven together in this one tapestry. And so it requires a complete 360-degree approach so that we can really create those shifts on a cellular level. And so we're really bringing in that approach, and bringing in facilitators from all over the world that can offer these various different diverse modalities. And so within these workshops, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing weekly meetups. So we'll meet 4 times a month, and then twice, 2 of those 4 times out of the month are going to be deep healing connection circles where we allow space for whatever is alive in us to be seen. If you think about real, genuine change, like me, me and Christina, we're practitioners, and we go to therapy every week, and how badly we need therapy. It's something like we need the support system. And so we'll do circles every other week, where when we get a chance to really bring whatever it is that we're experiencing in real life, whatever emotion is present, whatever circumstance and whatever energy is alive in us, whatever is asking to be felt, whatever needs to be expressed, whatever wants to change, to shift. Like, these are really the spaces for, like, sharing, where we get to be surrounded by a trauma-informed safe space, where we allow deep presence to what also is not just in the mind in the story, but also what is in the body, and allowing the nervous system of the collective, of the group, to be that anchor, so that we can all regulate, and our bodies can really learn and develop the capacity to be with and hold what is alive, so that we bring that capacity with us outside of the circle into everyday life, into your own presence that you bring into the moment, into your own presence that you meet every emotion, setback, circumstance, disagreement, person's opinions. This is really what we're collecting. We're developing the collective nervous system that you get to instill into your own nervous system. And we get to bring in trauma-informed, beautiful practices. You know, Christina and I are being mentored by some facilitators under Gabor Mate. So we're embedding a lot of different trauma-informed somatic tools in there as well. We're going to have deep dive modules. So 2 out of those 4 weeks in the month will be circles. The other 2 will be deep dive learning modules, where you'll meet with a member of our faculty, an international group of practitioners that will take you through deep dive modules around specific themes, specific bodies of teaching. I'll go through it in a little bit. And then you'll be able to really like understand the methodology of that and sink your teeth into it and really start learning the theory, the embodied practices, so that you can take it in and apply it in real life. And then we'll have mastery pods wherein you get to, you know, meet with a few dyads or triads within the community to build accountability, to build authentic sharing. We'll have optional one-on-one coaching available because Christina and I are trauma-informed space holders and coaches. We also have a group of psychologists and other different energy healers, breathwork practitioners. So depending on what you need, this is what we'll be able to provide for you. We'll have book clubs. We'll have retreats as well. We'll plan a retreat in most likely in Puerto Galera, but that's still up for discussion, where we get to meet towards the latter part of next year in person and really get to integrate these learnings together. We'll have a digital hub where you'll have all of the master workbooks, the tools, the meditations, the resources, and the support. We're also developing a very in-depth master workbook that's going to be integrating various different modalities, teachings into one very cohesive, understandable framework that you get to go back and forth with. So that's really doing day-to-day tracking on your values, your triggers, your emotions, where that lives in your body, the goals, the visions that you want to create for yourself, how to keep accountable to that, how to work through limiting beliefs and actually really see the blueprint of your progress unfold right in front of you, so that we get to track, we get to measure, we get to optimize. So I told you a little bit already about the circles, about the trauma-informed relational healing, about us being able to share our challenges, our wins, our breakthroughs. We'll be able to learn how to really process emotions in a very holistic, embodied way, because that's really what healing doesn't happen in the mind. That's often the story. Healing happens in the body, it happens in the nervous system, it happens in the tissues. Bessel van der Kolk from the Body Keeps Score says your issues are in your tissues. So we'll be able to really connect to authenticity in that way. And then I told you a little bit about the deep dive modules. I'm going to go through the different facilitators and the syllabus of what we'll have available for you. But yeah, there'll be plenty of resources under the sun that will be accessible specifically to you. You'll also get recordings of all of the sessions. So just in case you're not able to make that particular week's sessions, you're able to also keep up with the recordings. You're able to actually also keep up within your accountability pods, within our group chat. So this is continued learning. We want to make sure that it's sustainable and that you have the support that you need after to integrate. Many of you already know Christina and myself. We are both ICF certified coaches. ICF is the International Coaching Federation. It is the gold standard of coaching. But we also weave in a lot of deep somatic work. So we're also non-dual Shaiva Tantric, classical Tantric philosophy and yoga practitioners. We bring in Gabor Mate's trauma-informed healing of somatic psychotherapy. We bring in internal family systems. So her and I are going to be your main guides leading the circles in some of the modules. And we're bringing in amazing facilitators from the Wellness Collective to bring in the other modules for you. So I'm just going to go through the syllabus very briefly so you have an idea, but I'm not going to go through it in too much detail. I'm going to send you the deck so you have that for yourself. But the first month, this November and December, it's going to start at the end of November and through December. We're going to have 4 weeks where Christina and I really introduce the workbook for you. We're going to map out true self-awareness, what wholeness is, how to start developing embodied presence, especially since we're going to be entering the holidays, and that's if you ever hear the teacher that says if you think that you have progressed in your personal development, go and spend the holidays with your family and then see how well you've done. So we want to equip you with the support system to step into that, so that we can start to really take stock of our year, take stock of where we're at in our life. We'll go through the wheel of life to assess where we're at in our life, relationships, our health, our well-being, our work, and to really connect what are our authentic values, what way of being, what person am I wanting to step into and call into, what are the patterns that I want to start recognizing and rewriting, what are the beliefs that need to have a shift in a narrative. We'll be able to map that out on the workbook and really set aligned authentic goals for yourselves and translate that into habit and lifestyle application. We're going to also introduce trauma-informed foundations so that you understand how it is to work with the nervous system and how to bring in regulation tools that are really embodied and holistic, and how to start developing the aspect of self that is awareness, that is presence, that is that part of you that Christina was always talking about, that deep, ancient, wise, intuitive part of you, that spirit that really has the capacity to hold and be with all of life's energy patterns and still be grounded in truth, still be grounded in essence and wholeness. Then in January, Christina's going to come in. She's going to be leading the chapter around human design. So really understanding what is the unique blueprint for you as a specific individual, your zones of genius, the gifts that you get to bring into the world, the boundaries we need to create around those gifts and that energy so that you can continue to lead with vision, and how to really release the patterns of us working outside of our design and really honoring that self and seeing it from a very embodied lens, because Christina is a freaking amazing embodied facilitator. So it's something that your bodies will actually get a chance to have a taste of what it feels like to live in coherence, in alignment rather than dissonance. Then you have the amazing Sanaya Gormal. She's like an international, well, she's amazing. She's an international speaker. She's been on TEDx several times. She's constantly traveling the world. She talks about life and love and relationships and how to honor the self as a means of creating the love that you deserve and creating conscious relationships. So she will probably do things around connecting to the self-love, the compassion, the radical acceptance within self as a means of being able to build connection within self in order to build connection with others. Then we have Stephanie Zabiri, and she's particularly going to be talking about Jungian psychology and the archetypes and being in tune and in touch with the various parts of the self, the maiden, the mother, the wild woman, the sage, the shadow, the lover, and how to really get in touch with all of that. And she'll bring a lot of soulful embodiment rituals. You have Naz. A lot of you already know Naz. Naz is this amazing breathwork and ice immersion facilitator. She's going to be talking all about really anchoring presence. She's also, she studied and has a background in quantum physics. So she's very, very, very practical, but very deeply soulfully embodied. So she's going to be using modalities such as meditation and breathwork to really connect to a sense of presence that is grounded, that is safe, that is rooted in spaciousness that you can bring into whatever life throws your way. And then I'm going to be leading us through some shadow work and wholeness and radical self-acceptance. So this is going to be us really uncovering unconscious patterns and parts of ourselves that we may have been suppressing. We'll introduce a little bit of trauma-informed foundations, such as internal family systems, emotional literacy, how to be able to be the alchemist that gets to transform shadow and light and into wholeness, and to live from that place so that we're not as disjointed, and so that the shadow does not end up controlling unconscious patterns in our lives. That's often because we haven't addressed certain pieces of our shadow self. So we'll bring that into the light and really understand what is it like to be so freaking unapologetically me, to embrace all aspects of self and to be in that liberated way of being as I step into the world. And then we have Lee Grain Maranan and her partner, who's going to be talking about a lot of embodied feminine power, the cyclical wisdom, tapping into our cycles and the seasonal nature of feminine embodiment. And also bringing in a lot of, she's traveled all over the world working with different shamans. So she's bringing in womb wisdom, understanding circles, bringing in tantric yoga philosophy as well, and energy healing. Then Christina and I are going to be going into conscious relationships and authentic relating. So really, this is more about how we start not just consciously communicating to ourselves, but with other people, how we bring in that communication with our relationships, how we deal with conflict, how we can repair relational trauma, how we can begin creating more reconciliation, how to be able to speak to each other's triggers, how to set loving boundaries and express ourselves authentically in relationship. Then you have Mina Matani, who's going to be taking us through a different journey around plant medicine and soul medicine. She's going to be talking about deep nervous system renewal and rest. She also is an embodied yoga facilitator. So she's going to be working a lot with the nervous system here and embodying sacred feminine energies. And then Christina and I, or most likely someone else, will actually be leading creative expression and voice activation. So it's kind of like what Regine said. Everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has something to create, something to innovate, something to bring into the world. And so it's really about opening up that channel and allowing us to speak not from the head, but from embodied self, the true inner wisdom, the authentic, creative, wild woman that has something to share, that wants to have transmission come through. Then we'll have a session around Dharma, purpose, and soul leadership, and how to really create sacred work that is in alignment with true self, how to lead in relationships, in the creative entrepreneurship, in the work front, how to create authentic impact that is in alignment with your particular gifts, and obviously dealing with imposter syndrome that usually gets in the way of that. And then we'll also be working through the living embodiment of wholeness. So energy medicine, flourishing. We'll be able to work with Reiki, because we also have A2 Chopra on our team. So we're also going to have a chance to continue to celebrate and track each other's wins, to share and to be led by each other. So we're also going to teach you how to hold space in the way that Christina and I do. So we want you to also step into the leadership role where you're now holding space, where you're now leading ritual, where you're now sharing a piece of your creative purpose or dharma into this space. Yeah, and some of the other facilitators that we have here, A2, who I think was in the call earlier, is an amazing Reiki master, mental health practitioner. We have Candy Drulan Dalman. She's a functional doctor, so she's going to be taking care of the medicine front that is holistic. She's also an acupuncturist. Jackie is the head of Haraya Collective, so she is working with an entire faculty of different ICF coaches that deal with specifically like neuroscience-backed self-leadership. We have Paula Ferrer, who's our psychologist and psychiatrist on board, who also deals with deep trauma work, and Victoria Herrera, who's just like an all-around self-love queen and international speaker. So these are just some of the facilitators that will be ushering and holding space with us, so that you'll make sure that you see that it is really backed by a very diverse, well-rounded group of space holders and practitioners that are here to not just be your teachers, but also walk alongside you in the journey. And so, yeah, the investment here. So Christina and I want to make sure that it's very accessible to everybody. So there's going to be different tiers depending on your income. And so obviously the seed tier is for women who are still planting roots, people who want a little extra support. The Flourish tier is your general admission. So you can translate this into pesos, but $75 just for the entry level. This is per month. The Flourish tier is $100. That's your general admission or general price sale. If you think about masterminds that actually run all around the world at this caliber, a lot of them Christina and I have been a part of usually costs about $1,000 a month. This is not something that we want to be doing. We want to make sure, like Christina said, that wellness is a birthright and not a luxury. So to make this accessible for everyone, we do have general admission, financial aid. The Radiance tier is if someone wants to have one-on-one coaching alongside the Mastermind program. So Christina and I are able to offer that. And then if you want to pay it forward, then you can pay $200 so that you can support another sister. And then, of course, we do offer financial aid and we do offer scholarships for free. So if that's the bracket that you're in, we kindly ask that you just be cognizant that there are limited slots available. So if you end up taking a slot, it's going to take away from someone else. So we do ask that you really reflect on your financial capacity to be able to contribute what you can contribute, so that we can also contribute to a lot of the other ladies that are also in financial need. A lot of the investment that actually comes through this is also going to be funneled into the free initiatives that Christina and I are currently funding in Fuel to Flourish. So a lot of the free initiatives that we've done for the community actually come out of our own pocket. So this is one of the ways that you can support all of the community initiatives that get to be run for free is by supporting another sister. So yeah, I guess that I'm gonna get Christina to talk a little bit more about any parts that I might have missed, including the investment. But yeah, I just want to, sometimes I have a hard time at selling because there's a part of me that just wants to do it for free, but I do also understand the value of the investment that we make in ourselves. And if we think about the investments that we put into our food, the investments that we put into a gym, the investments we put into our homes, there's nothing more important than investing in ourselves, in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits, in the way that we show up in our relationships, in our life, in our love, and wholeness. When we live from that place, when we get to really touch into that more and more because of this deep work that is supported like a community like this, then it really ripples out into every aspect of our life. So this is us also investing in every aspect of our life. So we hope that you'll join us. We'll have more and more details trickle through in the group chat, because we'll also make sure that we choose the dates and meeting times that is working best for everybody. But if you have any questions, please direct them to the group chat or to us and Christina. And yeah, we obviously want to make it accessible to everybody. So thank you so much for making the time to listen. If you have any questions, just let us know. And then Christina, I think you had your hand raised. Did you want to add anything to the presentation before we open up to some questions?
No, ladies, thank you so much for supporting our journey as we've ran and fueled Fuel to Flourish with our own money for the past 5 years. And just super thankful to a lot of you for just constantly being a constant and just showing up with your beautiful, beautiful presence. So we really appreciate it. We are now transitioning because, of course, we have to be sustainable, and we also need to pay our team that are beautifully putting in a lot of this work so that we can reach more people with this work. And yeah, as I mentioned, we're keeping it in many different tiers so that whoever needs it, if finances are an issue, we don't want that to ever be like a block for anyone to be able to have access to any of this. On the financial tiers, we also have a more discounted rate for the annual plan. So if you're like me and you kind of just want, like, you're going to go big and go home and just do one package thing, because I'm more of a yearly kind of person and not a monthly type of person. So if you're like me, we've kind of created something like that also. I think we're going to try to do payment plans for everybody as well. If there's any topics you really have a burning desire to do, we're happy to look at incorporating that into the program as well and finding the right person to do that, whether it's taking up space, whether it's how to be a starfish, or I don't know, walking with confidence. We can, we have a supermodel in our collective facilitators as well, or we even have Sandra who could probably teach you how to do that. But yeah, we have many different resources basically. And now Elle and I have consolidated it so it's more organized and that you're able to follow a proper curriculum and it's more consistent, because honestly, we need more consistency. Like just doing it one-offs are not kind of cutting it anymore. So that's really it from me. I have to dip out, unfortunately, because my baby daughter is waiting to go home for breastfeeding milk time. We're really we're way past bedtime right now, but I'm gonna leave this space to Elle to close with all of you. Again, thank you so much for your support and just allowing us the space to share and to continue to be part of our vision and mission. Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I just wanted to ask if anyone has any questions. I know that was a lot of information. And we'll have the chat open, as you can see in the link here, if you have any more detailed inquiries that you need. But for now, is there anything that anyone needs to understand, know, or does that feel clear to us?
When can we start, girl? Can we start right now?
So we're starting at the end
When
of
can we
the end
start?
of
Tomorrow?
November. The end of November. So we'll keep you posted on the exact dates, but most likely like the last Saturday or Sunday of November. We'll see. Yeah.
Lovely. I love it. Thank you.
Love you. Mm.
Love you too.
All right, loves. If there aren't any questions for this right now, you can also always just send it to us afterwards, but just taking a few breaths to just let it all digest, and yeah, just taking a moment to look at the faces in this room, in this space. And whether or not we join the mastermind, this space is always here. That's unconditional. And so just wanting to thank all of you again for showing up so fully, sharing your stories, sharing your truth, and just being part of this. Like, you are fuel to flourish. It's not us, it's not me or Christina, it's not this Zoom call, it's you. It's the way you tell stories, it's the way you hold space. It's the way that you allow another person to feel home within themselves, in your arms, in your presence. So I want to thank you for continuing to be that when you turn this video call off, when you step into your homes, when you step into your kids, into the arms of your family, or into your work. That you are the ripples of change. You are the threads of belonging. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Mwah.
Thank you.
Beautiful rest
Thank
of your evenings.
you.
Take care.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Bye, loves.
Can't wait to
Love
start.
you.
Guys, love you.
Good night.
Good night.